Zombie, huh? Good games, you know.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about a game that holds a special place in my heart, Dead Rising. I remember playing Dead Rising when I was a teenager, and let me tell you, it was one of those games that immediately hooked me in. From the moment I started playing, I knew it was an absolute banger. The game left such a huge mark on my teenage years, and looking back, I hold it in such a high regard. Those fond memories of playing it on my Xbox 360 come rushing back every time I think about it. For the purpose of this video, the footage from this video is going to be from a new remaster, as I do not own a capture card yet, and I simply just do not want to buy Dead Rising for the 60th time, and obviously buy the new version just now. So all the footage is from the new remaster deluxe super edition remaster deluxe times 2. Okay. What's remarkable about Dead Rising is how well it holds up even after all these years. The graphic style, in my opinion, still stands the test of time, and it is still impressive even by today's standards. Every 3 years I find myself going back to play it, and it never fails to captivate me all over again. I remember playing it when I was younger, in high school, and knowing when I was playing it at the time, that you really knew when you sat down and played this game, it was a real game changer. Sorry for the pun, but it was just one of those games like Breath of the Wild, Halo, where you just know it really is going to change the way that you think about games going forward. The plot of Dead Rising is as follows. In 2006, photojournalist Frank West is alerted by a source that something is happening in the town of Willamette, Colorado. On the 19th September, flying into town with helicopter pilot Ed, Frank learns that the town is subject to military quarantine and observes several violent incidents throughout the town. He is dropped onto the Willamette Parkviews Mall's helipad after asking Ed to return in 3 days. Arriving in the mall, he learns that the quarantine is due to a zombie outbreak. The mall is breached, forcing Frank to take refuge in the mall's security room. With the help of janitor Otis of Washington, he travels into the mall. Otis will become the most annoying person in the entire game. First thing you'll notice about the game is Frank has a watch, and absolutely every second of the game is timed, and it is quite fast. Now, I'm not usually one for time pressure games, as I tend to crumble under the pressure, but when it comes to Dead Rising, I make an exception. The thrill of being limited on time to save survivors or fight psychopaths in the game really gets my adrenaline pumping and my loins going. It's like a challenge I can't resist, and I love every single second of it. It probably is some sort of childhood trauma from playing Majora's Mask back in the day. The thing I like about it is the fact that you have to make some tough decisions. If you're struggling for time to either save a survivor or fight someone, or instead, if you want to get an achievement, you really have to make a decision, and sometimes you don't always get what you want, which is quite typical. That's a nice segue. The next topic about the game is survivors. One of the aspects that truly makes Dead Rising stand out are the unique and interesting survivors you can count for this entire story. Each survivor has their own story, their own personality, and this adds so much depth to the gameplay. Some survivors you simply have a quick chat, and some survivors require you to bring items or have completed a significant event for them to come back to the security room. Then even when you finally do save them, they have the cheek sometimes to ask for more things. For example, you save a guy and he wants to start a mutiny in the room, and then you have to go back to the security room to stop it. Or one survivor wants more food. There is literally sometimes no pleasing some of these people after you've just saved them from a massive mall full of zombies. And let's not forget the boss fights. I mean psychopath fights. These fights in Dead Rising are where the game truly shines. Every encounter is unique, memorable, and really keeps you on the edge of your seat. Even after all these years, I can vividly recall every intense battle with the boss music ringing in my head. Every boss fight has their own unique music that is very memorable. Even after all these years, every time I go outside in the game and I hear that music from the convicts, I get the fear. And I remember Sophie, and I'm sorry Sophie, I don't always get to save you because sometimes I just can't be asked killing these convicts ever again. One of my absolute favourites of Psychopaths to fight has to be the showdown with Adam the Clown. Not only is it a fun fight, but the death cutscene is something to behold. And let's not forget the amazing reward, one of the best weapons in the game, and then once you combine it with 3 of the books, it's pretty much an unstoppable item. Another standout moment is taken on the cult leader, who gathers his followers in these iconic yellow raincoats and green masks. The series of side quests associated with saving survivors in this segment truly adds depth to the gameplay, and it all takes place in the movie theatre, which really does add a sort of cinema experience, if you get me. Sorry. Who can forget Ken, the photographer? That really mundane, annoying laugh. Sometimes when I go to bed at night, I can hear it taunting me. Ken's fight takes part over the course of 2 or 3 days in the game. You have to take a picture for him to get a certain number of PP points. And then when you go back to him, you have a fight with him, which is a very entertaining fight. Quite easy though, because by this time you're quite high level, and obviously you've probably got the chainsaw from Adam the Clown. And probably one of the easier fights, just probably due to the location of the fight in the supermarket, is with the supermarket manager. It's a pretty easy fight, but because of how the cutscene plays out in the game, it really makes it quite an unexpected and intense moment. It's these unexpected and eccentric characters that make Dead Rising so engaging years after its release. And in my opinion, when you look at Dead Rising 4, this is what this game really suffers from, is the fact that it doesn't have any memorable psychopaths. I can't even remember what they called them. They called them something different in that game, but in my opinion, that's what it was really lacking. It had no memorable characters. Even Frank wasn't that memorable. Or should I say Hank? To sum it up, Dead Rising is more than just a game to me. It's part of my gaming history. The intense gameplay, the captivating graphics, the thrilling time pressure, and unforgettable boss fights all contribute why I love this game so much. It's a game to me that never gets old, a game that I always come back to, and a game that I always have a special place in my heart. I think I might cry. Here are my quick thoughts on the Remastered Deluxe Super Edition Triple Combo Meal. The remaster was announced this year and I was obviously very excited. More Dead Rising and remade in the Resident Evil engine. What more could I want? I've obviously bought this day one, so here's my opinion quickly. I like it. It does exactly what it says on the tin, zombies but with better graphics, more filled out areas, more details. Some performance issues for me personally, such as zombies popping into the screen, which is quite annoying considering this was never really an issue before. Some censorship has taken place in the remastered, but I'm not going to really get into that as it's a whole different sort of subject. But all in all, it's pretty good. It's more Dead Rising. If you like Dead Rising 1, you're gonna like the remaster. It's £45 here in the UK. It might seem a bit pricey, but in my opinion, it's a pretty good price point for a remaster, which is quite standard sort of price if you knew that. And that's it for today's video. Thanks for all for tuning in and joining me in this journey down memory lane with Dead Rising. It's one of my favourite games of all time. Such fond memories of it. Being absolute shit scared, being a teenager playing it in my room, and then when it hit 8 PM or 9 PM or whatever it was in the game, and all the lights turned off in the game in the mall, and then zombies' eyes went red, always shit myself. So if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. I'm currently working on getting a better setup. It's been a bit of a, let's say, pain in the arse getting this going, but I've managed to do some jiggery pokery and fix it. So next time, tune in, happy gaming, and this is Stereo Students signing out. Enjoy.